Welcome back to Anything Can Be a Podcast with Taylor Cartago. I'm Taylor Cartago, and anything can be a podcast. Today, I'm here at Grand Central Station at this very long escalator, and I'm going to be going up and down it until I can finish explaining all of the Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, take a walk with me, gang. The Spider-Man Homecoming is a movie, right? It's a movie that takes place in the MCU with a character beloved to many. Spider-Man is a Marvel character that has existed since, I think, the 1950s, 60s, somewhere around then. And his whole thing is that he is a masked hero who goes between his life as a regular day individual with his own individual regular day problems, and also fighting crime and being a little superhero, right? Spider-Man has gone through many iterations throughout the past however many years and decades, starting from the Amazing Spider-Man TV show back in whenever that one came out, and going on to be more TV shows, more movies, more TV shows, more movies. The big heavy hitter movie coming out in the early 2000s with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That's not the one I'm talking about today, but that one kind of brings you up to speed in terms of what a Spider-Man movie is, you know? He starts out, he gets a spider bite, he's hanging out, he's doing whatever, you know, and then he has to fight the Green Goblin, who is the dad of his friend, right? A lot of Spider-Man tropes are established in these movies, right? Goes on, he fights Doc Ock, goes on, he fights Sandman and Venom and not the Rhino, that's another one. But then, you know, Amazing Spider-Man comes out a couple years later. That one's also pretty good. You know, you get a lot of Amazing Spider-Man. He's pretty amazing, and you know, he does his little thing, right? Now, the big thing to remember here is that we've had two Spider-Man movies, two Spider-Man like individuals, I should say, in the past couple of years, right? So now, where does this leave us, right? If there's only so many Spider-Men that exist in the cultural zeitgeist and whatnot, right? Take a walk with me, right? So maybe potentially, right? The big thing to note is this was a weird heavy hitter, right? Spider-Man has existed within the Sony universe and in its own individual pockets, but it has never been a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is what Spider-Man Homecoming is, right? A lot is banking on this movie, so they needed to make sure that they got it right. Now, walk with me. There's a couple things you got to know, right? Tom Holland, pretty unknown actor at this time. Zendaya, I knew who she was because I watched Shake It Up, but apparently other people didn't know who she was before this movie came out, right? There's a lot of different different moving parts to this movie. A lot of different crazy things are happening, right? And a lot of X, Y, and Z happening with the Spider-Man formula, right? They're changing and shifting and moving around. It starts out not on Spider-Man, but on the villain, Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, right? It opens on Avengers 2012, right after the Battle of New York, right? In Avengers, they fight the Battle of New York, and it's like a whole thing, right? And you know, there's Loki, and he's destroyed New York essentially, right? There are these people that are meant to repair like kind of all of the New York scene, right? Now, in repairing the New York everything, right? Adrian Toomes and his buddies are hired by the New York Department of Waste Management to clean up and to restore New York to what it previously was. And they're getting ready, they're finding all these things, they're walking around kind of near Grand Central actually, and looking at all of the damage that's been done. And they're thinking to themselves, oh man, we got a lot of work to do. But as soon as they start picking up their tools and shovels and whatnot, watch your step. Sorry, there's a little alert that told me to watch my step. As soon as they're looking at their stuff, then you see this whole group of people coming in. They're wearing a little bit more futuristic clothing. There's this lady who comes in and is like, we'll take it from here. And Adrian Toomes is like, what do you mean you'll take it from here? We were hired by the state. And then the lady goes, this is outside of your jurisdiction. Shows her ID thing, and she works with Tony Stark, and she works with Stark Industries, right? This job of the waste management department that Adrian Toomes had previously had is now gone. He doesn't have the job anymore. He got fired. He's struggling. He doesn't make a lot of money, right? So what's happening now is he needs to find a way to make money when all of these people are kind of, like doing their whatever, right? So him and his gang, they do their whole thing, right? And they're kind of figuring out like, okay, you know what? This is probably like a lot of valuable stuff that we have our hands on, right? They're looking around at all the stuff and they're like, oh man, Loki like really had a lot of cool Chitauri tech, right? So you start thinking to yourself, hey, maybe there's like something we can do with this, Maybe there's some sort of technology that we could probably create with this like alien tech, right? So they steal all of it and they create a bunch of stuff, and it cuts to about 8 years later. Adrian Toomes is living in his nice little house, and he has a warehouse somewhere. I can't remember where specifically, but it's somewhere in New York, I think. And that's where he makes his tech with all of the people, and all the guys are doing their thing, and they're like, oh, we're working on this stuff. Hey, you doing this deal? Whatever. Oh, so sorry. They're doing their deal, and they're like, oh man, like we gotta sell all this alien tech, right? It's a Spider-Man movie. All the Spider-Man alien people are coming in, and it's a whole thing, right? So sorry. And you've got now Spider-Man. He's living as like a little teenager. So sorry. And he is living his best life. By this point, he's already been bitten by the spider, and I'm so sorry. No, it's on me. And he's trying to adventure and figure out all of his like teenage stuff. But he's 15 at this moment, and he is in the previous film that he was in, Captain America: Civil War, hired by Tony Stark in order to fight Captain America and his gang in Germany, right? Crazy job for a 15-year-old, I know. But he is doing all this stuff, and he starts recording on his little camcorder his adventures in Germany to start this kind of movie right after the title sequence, right? Now, it's a fun, interesting thing that happens in this little title sequence type thing, because when all of the stuff is happening and whatnot, you get a lot of, what do you call it? You get a lot of like fun little moments with Spider-Man as Peter, right? It shows you his naivete a little bit. He's going around, he's recording all the German people. He's like, guys, we're in Germany, guys, and he's like walking around. And he's like, Mr. Stark, and he's doing his thing, and he's talking to Happy Hogan, and Happy's like, hey, like whatever. He's kind of like this kid. What the fuck is this kid doing? Right? Pardon my French, but he's talking about this kid, and he's going like, oh man, what is going on? And they get to the hotel. He's doing his thing. He like gets a Spider-Man suit. He opens up a briefcase, and he's like, Happy, this is for me. And Happy's like, try the suit on, kid. And he's like, oh well, really, like this is for me. He's like, yeah, to try the suit on. He tries the suit on. He's like, oh my gosh, the suit got a bunch of stuff. Yo, it talks, whatever, blah blah blah. He then sets his camcorder aside during the battle in Germany, right, in the airport. And he does his lines from Captain America: Civil War, and then halfway through the battle, he like goes onto his thing again, and he's like, "Guys, the craziest thing just happened. It was Captain America, and I grabbed his shield, and that guy's recording. Look at that. Turn the camera. Look, he's recording us. Oh, you missed it. Oh man, there's a guy over there like recording us. Oh well, that's staying in. Well, you see now. What's happening now, and what's happening? Like he wins the battle, right? Iron Man objectively wins the Battle of New York, right? It's a crazy thing that happens winning this Battle of New York, because you'd think to yourself like, oh man, like he's just a kid, but he won, and Iron Man won, and it was a great little moment for him, right? Winning the Battle of New York. So where does this take us now? What's happening? The Battle of New York, right? Or not New York, sorry, the Battle of Germany. He's 15, he's now in Queens, he gets to keep the suit, he's doing all of his stuff, right? Oh, did you want to go down? No, don't worry about it, no, it's totally fine, don't worry about it, yeah. Where was I? Spider-Man was in Germany. Oh yeah, so it cuts, and he's now going to high school, right? There's a little song, I forget what the name of the song is, but it sounds like, and it plays while he's like walking to school, and he's also Spider-Man at this time, so it's like a funny little Spider-Man. Sorry, so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, you go ahead. I'm so sorry. And he's Spider-Man, right? And he's walking to school, and he goes to school at I believe, a charter school for a bunch of little smart guys, right? Little smart kids, right? He is going to school with his best friend, Ned. He is like one of his only friends. He's really only friends with Ned. And as he gets to his locker, he closes the locker, and you see Ned, who's by the locker. He's like, "Oh, Ned, like, what's going on?" And Ned's like, "Peter, do you want to come over and build the Death Star later?" And they do like a little handshake, and then they're like, "Yeah, let's go build the Lego Death Star later." They built the Lego Death Star later in the movie. It's a little thing that they end up doing, right? But that's for a little bit. So sorry. And now, fun thing with the Lego Death Star is that like it becomes a little plot point thing later. You'll see that when you see that, right? And sorry. Now. He's doing his thing, and he's like, going to class and everything, and he's sitting in class, and he's like, "Oh man, like, oh god, like I gotta sit through this boring science class." But in science class, he's on YouTube watching videos of himself as the Spider-Man stopping like a robbery, or like stopping a car from falling down, or like doing a backflip or something, right? He's watching the YouTube video. He closes his laptop. Teacher's like, "Hey, can you like pay attention, please? Like, please, like, lock in and pay attention." Close the laptop. He answers the question perfectly because he's a genius. He's Spider-Man, right? He's Peter Parker. He's the smart guy, right? He keeps going, right? And he's talking and doing his thing, and he's going like, "Oh yeah, like, here's all of the stuff that we're working on, that we're doing, blah 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 blah," right? He moves on to then after school. You hear the little Michael Giacchino Spider-Man theme, and it's like bum 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 bum, and it starts playing, and he goes into a little alleyway right outside of his school in Queens, where he is now changing out of his school day clothes and into the Spider-Man suit. He becomes Spider-Man, right? And he uses his webs. He has a backpack. He like throws the backpack against the wall, shoots it with a web, and then like he goes out and he swings, and then Blitzkrieg Bop plays. That's a song in the soundtrack, and it's very good. And he's saving a bunch of people. There's a guy who's like, "Yo, Spider-Man, do a flip!" And then Spider-Man does a flip. He's like, "Yeah, the Spider-Man!" And that's like a funny little gag that they do. And there's just like a whole bunch of different things that happen in terms of like the bits and stuff that go on with the Spider-Man, right? Now, what you'll need to know with this scene is that like he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? All of the stuff that Spider-Man is doing is essentially like what do you call it? Yeah, Spider-Man is he's trying to be like a friendly guy, right? And he is doing his thing, and he's figuring it out, and he's kind of locking in to like this whole Spider-Man deal, right? Trying to figure out like what is Spider-Man, what does he do, like how do we really like become Spider-Man and do the Spider-Man thing. He stops a guy who is stealing a bike. He tries to stop a guy who he thinks is stealing a car. It ends up being the guy's actual car. Just causes a ruckus. He's new to the job, right? He helps an old woman cross the street, and she buys him a churro, right? And it's a whole bunch of different things that are happening. He tries web slinging. He like falls. He gaffes. He goofs, and it's a part of the thing. He's Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. This is just what Spider-Man does, and it's a whole thing, right? It's a whole thing. Spider-Man's whole thing is that he just goofs and gaffs, and he helps people in the neighborhood. And sorry, I'm kind of in the middle, aren't I? There you go. Yeah, and he's doing his thing, and he's helping, he's saving, and he's doing all that and whatnot, right? Oh no, go ahead. No, don't worry. I'll stand a little bit this way. No, don't worry about it. No, but so he's Spider-Man, right? And he's doing a Spider-Man thing, and well, now the interesting thing is like. He gets on the phone. I think he calls Happy Hogan, and he's like, Happy, like today was a good day. Today was a good day, Happy. I like got to do my thing, and I'm Spider-Man, and it's great. And he's doing his thing, right? He's Spider-Man. It's awesome. It's awesome. He's Spider-Man, right? Now, the interesting thing about like the Spider-Man thing now is that because he's Spider-Man, Happy's like, all right, yeah, you got chops, kid, but you're not the person that we should really be paying attention to right now. Only call me if something crazy happens. I don't need these updates, right? And he's like, but this old woman bought me a churro. And it's like kind of a whole thing. He's very happy about this, right? Oh, I totally forgot. He went to a local bodega right before changing the Spider-Man suit. I think it's called like Del Mar's or something like that. And he goes in, he like goofs with the guy that's working the counter, pets the cat, right? They have like good banter, and he speaks a little bit of Spanish. You know, it's funny. It's funny and it's goofy, and it shows, you know, that he's a real member of the community, right? Anyway, around the nighttime of this scene, Spider-Man is now like flying around and he's doing his thing, or I should say, webbing around. You know, web slinging around. He's not flying; he doesn't fly, but you know, he's Spider-Man, so he's doing his thing. And he's checking out this bank, and the bank is like being robbed by a bunch of guys wearing plastic Avengers masks, right? And he goes in, he's like, "Oh man, Tony, it's been a while since I've seen you. Is this what you've been up to now? Kind of a downgrade from your." He's doing his jokes. He's doing his jokes because he's Spider-Man. But he's fighting these guys, and he's like hanging from the walls, and he's like doing his web slinging thing. And then randomly, one of the guys has like a giant like pulse laser thing, and it's crazy and it's like insane. It's like, whoa, you know, he has like a crazy laser type thing, right? And he tries to shoot Spider-Man, doesn't work. Oh no, Spider-Man like shoots the laser thing. Oh no, whole bank is now like kind of exploding. Anti-gravity starts happening. Money's flying through the air. The owner of Del Mar's, the bodega across the street, is now like, oh, look at this guy. You know, there's a robbery down on like 23rd. Kind of weird, you know. It's a whole ordeal. It's played for laughs. But then the laser is now out of control, right? Zero gravity is out of control. No, go ahead. And the laser goes like, and it like destroys the bodega, and the bodega is destroyed in the Spider-Man scene. And Spider-Man is immediately like, Mr. Delmar, Mr. Delmar. I think his name is Delmar. I might be getting that wrong. I fully might be getting that wrong. But he's like, Mr. Delmar, Mr. Delmar. No, go ahead. No, don't worry about it. And, you know, he's doing his thing, and he's like, oh, no. He saves Delmar. He saves the cat. You know, they get out. He gets back home. You know, he's tired. He's, like, climbing up the walls. He's, like, climbing through the windows, you know. He's now on the ceiling of his bedroom, and he's like, oh, man. Oh, so sorry. I didn't see you there. He's now on like the ceiling of his bedroom. He's climbing in. He's closing the door to make sure Aunt May doesn't hear that he's come in. You know, because he's sneaking out at night. And he, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought here. Yeah. So he gets in. He closes the door, and he's like, woo! Right? And that's when the camera pans a little bit, right? And it's like, oh, Ned was in the room building the Lego Death Star that he said he would build with him earlier. So now there's like a whole thing with the Lego Death Star, and it falls and it breaks. And the Lego Death Star is a really, really expensive piece of Lego right there. That's in the hundreds. That might be in the thousands in terms of dollar value, right? Because it's huge. It's like thousands of pieces. But May is in the apartment. She let him in, right? And Ned's like, "You're the Spider-Man." And then Peter Parker's like, "Yeah, I'm the Spider-Man. I'm the Spider-Man." And then Ned's like, "Does Aunt May doesn't know?" And he's like, "No, Aunt May doesn't know," right? And it becomes like a whole thing where it's like Ned is now the only guy, the first guy in his normal everyday life to know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? And it becomes a whole thing. It's like, oh my gosh, Peter Parker is Spider-Man? That's crazy. I didn't know that Peter Parker, I keep forgetting that this is going down, and I put my hand here and it kind of, anyway. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? Aunt May doesn't know, Ned now knows. Ned is now asking him a bunch of questions, like, oh my gosh, you're the Spider-Man. What, like, do you make your own silk? Like, does it, like, do you do the YouTube videos, whatever? Like, do you lay eggs? That was a question he asks. He does like a whole bunch of like funny little questions, all kind of akin to this idea that like he doesn't know what Spider-Man really is. Spider-Man's kind of a new hero out in the Marvel universe at this time, right? And now Spider-Man is doing his thing, right? And he's doing all of his stuff, and he's the Spider-Man, you know. And there's, you know, he's in gym class. He's doing sit-ups with Ned, and they're watching a video. Captain America is on the like video screen, and he's like, So you're in PE. This is an important thing that you should be doing something, and whatever. Well, it's played for laughs essentially, getting Chris Evans to do this little cameo, right? But they're doing their sit-ups and they're working on their PE stuff, and from the benches, right? Because for some reason, Peter has PE with a senior, even though he's a sophomore at this time. There's a girl named Liz, right? He has a crush on this girl named Liz, who we did see actually earlier on in the movie. I forgot to mention. He's like totally crushing on this girl Liz, who's walking through the hallways. Senior girl on his Academic Decathlon team, right? Yeah, like this is the Mary Jane of the movie, you know. And he's like really just like enamored with Mary Jane. Not Mary Jane, sorry. With Liz, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, like I love Liz, whatever, blah blah. And Michelle, a friend played by Zendaya, is like, you love Liz, and he's like, nuh-uh, you know. And it's like a funny little haha little moment, right? And you know, it becomes a funny little thing that you know that he has a fat little crush on this senior as like the sophomore. It's funny, and it's played for laughs, right? Now, the thing that you gotta kind of know and realize now is that, Liz is at PE and they're like, F, marry, kill. Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk. And Betty Brant is sitting there. Betty Brant's a good friend of Liz. And Betty Brant is like, oh, yeah, you know, I would say maybe like, F Thor, marry Iron Man, and kill the Hulk. And then Liz is like, what about that Spider-Man guy? You know, it's Spider-Man. And Ned hears that and it's like, Liz likes Spider-Man. Liz likes Spider-Man. And Tom Holland Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is like, Ned, she doesn't know. You know, it's kind of like a funny little bit where it's like, Ned goes like, this is your shot, you know, and Peter's like, no, it's not, you know, like no, it's not, you know. So it becomes a funny little thing, and then Liz is having a party, right? And while Liz is having the party, she's kind of doing this whole like, what do you call it? She's like inviting people over to the party. As she's leaving PE, Ned goes, Peter knows Spider-Man. Like Ned says that. Ned says like, Peter knows Spider-Man. Yeah, met him at the Stark internship that he does. Ooh, now they're in trouble because a little bit of dramatic irony there. He does know Spider-Man, but not really because he is Spider-Man. What? I know, crazy stuff happening. Right? But he gets invited to this party. And now he's like the Spider-Man, is the whole thing. It's really cool. It's really awesome. It's like, oh my gosh, like Spider-Man is now like supposedly going to go to this party. Flash Thompson, the resident bully of the Spider-Man franchise, is like, yo, Peter. Also, he like drove a car earlier, and he calls him an affectionate penis Parker. Right? Now the whole Peter Parker like dilemma. Oh, go ahead. So sorry. Yeah. Now he calls him like penis Parker. It's like a whole thing, right? It's like a haha played for laughs kind of bit. But he's like, oh, Peter, like you know the Spider-Man? Yeah, sure, all right. And Flash is obviously like just poking fun of him. Obviously, he doesn't know Spider-Man, right? Or does he? I mean, no one is suspecting that it's him, right? So Liz is like, hey, like, come to the party. And Flash is like, and bring Spider-Man. And now Spider-Man's all like flustered. Peter's like, oh God, I can't bring Spider-Man because I am Spider-Man. You know, so what do? You know, so sorry. Now it's like, oh God, like what happens? What do you do, right? And what do you call it? Yeah, so now he's like prepping for this party. He's like, oh God, I don't know what to do, right? And he gets driven there with Ned later that day, right? And there's so many people. And while he's doing his thing, right? They get out. Peter has a go bag with a Spider-Man suit, or he has a Spider-Man suit under his clothes, and Ned is wearing a funny little fedora, and he's like, the fedora, like, people love it, you know? And Ned, again, only friends with Peter, Peter only friends with Ned. They get into the party, Peter's there for like a couple seconds, and Flash Thompson's the DJ, and he's going like, when I say penis, you say Parker, penis, penis, and then it's like a whole little call and response thing. Peter feels like he really needs to bring Spider-Man, especially given the fact that Flash Thompson is like, yo, where's the Spider-Man? You know? So it becomes a whole thing. It's like, oh, where is the Spider-Man? I don't really know, right? And so he leaves and he goes to the rooftop and he changes in the Spider-Man suit. And as he's about to go into the party, he sees what do you call it? Yeah, he sees a giant explosion happen, like somewhere in the far distance, right? And he's like, oh no, what's that? He left his phone, or he has his phone, I think. Yeah, he has his phone because he calls Ned later. But he has his phone. He's like web slinging across the buildings. It's hard for him to because it's in residential, it's in suburbia, right? So he's like, oh man, like, what's going on? He's creeping up around this like bridge. There are these guys selling to an Aaron Davis. No. Aaron Davis? Is that his name? Aaron Davis might be a real guy. No, I think his name is Aaron Davis. If Aaron Davis is a real guy, let me know. He might also be in the comics. I think he's both a real guy and a comic book character. But they're selling all these things to Aaron Davis, right? And Aaron Davis is now, what do you call it? He's this. Yeah, Aaron Davis is like buying these goods off the black market. It's this gun that shoots like little plasma beams or something, right? It's really cool, right? And they're testing out all the stuff. It sets off huge explosions. Spider-Man's like, hey, you're not supposed to be playing with that. So Spider-Man is now going like, and he's like trying to save the city, you know? He's doing his like flips and quips and flips, and he's Spider-Man-ing all over the place, you know? Ooh, I'm Spider-Man in it. And while he's doing his little Spider-Man thing, right, he is kind of what do you call it? Yeah, like they grab him with the plasma beam, and they're like, oh no, it's the plasma beam. So they're like, you know, going like, and he's being thrown all over the place, being pushed back all over the place. He grabs onto the back of the van while the van is being no, feel free, go ahead. No, don't worry about it. And it's like a whole thing, and it's like kind of like a fun little chase sequence where Spider-Man now needs to run through this like residential area, this suburbia, right? And he's like crashing into sheds, and then like going through the doors of the sheds, and he's like sliding through people's pools. He like surprises, he breaks like a tree house somewhere in a backyard. You know, he's kind of like, you know, doing all of his Spider-Man stuff, but in a place where he hasn't really been around because he's in the city. He's in Queens, right? And now you get this cool little like fun little thing happening, right? He's Spider-Man, but he's not where he usually is, right? Spider-Man is now on the back of the truck, right? Holding onto it with his webs, or on top of it at this point, I think he's on top of it. And he's now like on top of the bus, no, the van, sorry. And boom! Vulture comes in. The Vulture, Adrian Toomes comes in. What? Because he's the main man of the operation. He's the guy that's been also helping buy all the things for the projects and buying all the weaponry and making the weaponry, right? Adrian Toomes, Vulture, right? Grabs Spider-Man and drops him into a lake, just into a lake. Spider-Man's suit has a parachute, and the parachute almost drowns him, actually, a little bit ironic. But then an Iron Man suit flies into the lake while Spider-Man's drowning, saves him, and Tony's heard from the suit and is like, hey kid, save your life back there, you know? And he's doing his thing as Tony's being snarky. He's doing his like funny little snarky Tony Stark thing, and Peter's like, I almost got that guy. You see that guy? Like he's you know, like we gotta catch him. He's a bad guy. He's a villain. He's a bad guy, right? And it's like a whole little thing where it's like he really like he really wants to catch this guy, and Tony's like, not your jurisdiction. That is for us to worry about. If something like this happens, you call Happy, right? And then Spider-Man, his suit has like a heater in it, right? It's a whole thing. It like it heats him up a little bit after being in that cold lake water, and it's a crazy thing, you know. He's like, oh man, like I'm in like the what do you call it? Yeah, like I'm Spider-Man, you know. And he's doing his thing, and he's Spider-Man in it. And it's not working out. Iron Man is like not approving of this guy. But as he was chasing after the villains, there was like a thing that he took from the villains that was like old Chitauri tech from like Loki's like alien squadron, right? And it has like this cool little energy beam field thing. And he's like analyzing it in his science class. And he's like, what's this? And he's like checking the thing. And he's like, oh man, like what's this? I need to figure out what this is. Like, oh man, like, oh god, like what's happening? Like, what are all these things, right? And I think, yeah, so he's like, oh yeah, like what's all this stuff, right? And Ned is like, hey, so like, why'd you dip on us at the party? And he's like, Ned, like, don't worry about it. Ned, don't worry about it. No, go ahead. Actually, can you tell me what the time is on the phone? 31:20. We're 31:20? I'm not even halfway through. Oh God. Continue. Sorry. Thank you, man. Yeah. But now Spider-Man is like, oh, like, what is this thing? He's talking with Ned in the hallways now, right outside of his class. They have a Spanish class later in that day. Peter doesn't want to go to Spanish class. He wants to figure out what this thing is, right? He turns the corner. There's a bunch of like super evil villain people there, right? Something I think. And he's like, oh God, Ned, those are the guys that try to kill me. Ned. And Ned's like, oh God, you know, like whatever, doing his whole Ned thing, right? And now it becomes a little game of like, he's now following the guys into the scene shop where he was working at, like figuring out what the Chitauri tech was, right? And he places a tracker on them, and on the tracker, you know, he like does whatever. He goes back into the hallway or something. I think the principal catches him at this point, right? And the principal is now like, Peter, we gotta have a talk, right? And it kind of becomes a whole thing where he now has to talk with Peter. He gets detention, Peter gets detention. Peter leaves detention. He leaves it early, you know? It's a crazy move. I forget why. I fully forget why. I think it might have been because he wanted to follow the tracker and he's just really eager to follow the tracker. That was probably it. No, that was so much later. Sorry. No, he has the tracker, and the tracker, we're going to get to that. The tracker, it's like Ned and Peter, they're in his bedroom, they're looking at where the tracker is, and they're like, oh, it's going toward Maryland, you know? And they're like, where, like Maryland? Oh God, it's in Maryland. How are we going to get to Maryland? And Peter's like, I know a thing that's going to go to Maryland soon. It's close to DC, the Academic Decathlon that he and Liz and Flash and Ned were all going to go to before Peter quit to do a Spider-Man thing, right? He joins the team again, and they're all like, you can't join the team. Flash Thompson has now put his first alternate. It's really sad. Wah, 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 wah. He gets on the bus. He's going on the bus. He's following the tracker. The tracker is going all the way to Maryland, and it becomes a whole thing, right? Now, he's kind of thinking to himself, like, oh, geez, like, I need to follow this tracker. He's looking at the tracker the whole time. He's like, oh, man. He gets into the room that he and Ned are sharing, right? And the two of them are kind of looking around, and they're like, you know, they're doing their thing and whatnot, and he's, what do you call it? Yeah, like he's like tracking the thing. He's like, oh God, like we got to get out of here, whatever, right? He leaves the room. He's gonna follow the tracker, and Liz is like, oh, Peter, we were all gonna go to the pool and go for a swim, and Peter's like, yeah, like I'll meet up with you guys. And he doesn't meet up with them, and he's dressed up in his little Spider-Man suit, and he's now like following this tracker that's now in, I believe, DC and or Maryland. And he's at a gas station now, and he's talking to like a little voice that's in the suit because by this point Ned had deactivated the safety protocols that were put in place as the like training wheels to kind of guide Spider-Man through like all the stuff. He has access to all the stuff that Tony had implemented in the suit. He's now talking with the voice in the suit, and it's like, hey, like you're the voice in the suit. You're suit lady, I think, or like suit voice lady or something like that. And the suit's like, yes, Peter, like, I'm here to help you. Like, would you like to use this kind of web? And he's like, no, I don't, instant kill, no, you know? And then there's like taser webs that he uses. He doesn't know what those are yet, you know? He doesn't know how to use them at least. And it becomes a whole scary different thing. And he's like, oh man, like taser webs, that's kind of scary, you know? Like, whatever, you know, taser webs are like, they electrocute you and they're all tasery, you know, and they don't stick to things because they're taser webs. Anyway, he's now using a voice, like audio location thing that's built in the suit to listen to what's happening inside the vans that the tracker guys were tracked, right? And they're saying like, all right, all of this moves in tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow, or tonight, or we're moving tonight, something, right, into a warehouse facility, right? So all of the stuff is being moved into a warehouse facility, and the Vulture and his goons are gonna go take from the thing, right? And he's like, oh man, like, the Vulture is gonna be here and stealing these things, I need to stop him, right? So he goes and tries to stop him. The Vulture has this technology while he's in there, like above the things during the heist, where he can change the phases of matter of a certain thing within a certain radius of 4 individual little devices, right? So it creates a little square that turns this like solid metal object into a gas, like a clear thing that he can walk through, right? He walks through and he's like stealing all this stuff. Spider-Man also walks in and he gets beat up. You know, Spider-Man gets beat up, and then the Vulture leaves with some stuff, and then the portal closes. Or no, the Vulture doesn't leave with anything, but Spider-Man doesn't stop him, right? The Vulture gets away, the portal closes, Spider-Man tries to jump, he hits his head, he goes unconscious, he wakes up, he doesn't know what time it is, he's in a warehouse facility, he's like, oh no, where am I? He gets out of like the van, like thing that he was in, and it's like, oh no, he's in the most secure warehouse facility on the east coast of the United States. What? So at this point, he has to wait through the entire night to get the doors open. He's now talking with the suit lady, and suit lady is you know, talking and like kind of just going like, oh yeah, like I'm the suit lady. He's like, I feel like I should call you something other than suit lady. And suit lady's like, what would you like to call me? And he's like Karen? And she's like, you can call me Karen. And then it becomes a thing. He learns about all those webs, and the webs do different things. And there's like a ricochet web, and they ricochet. And then there's like a net, and he does that. And then there's like the ones, what is it? The ones where his arms are like spread out, and he can like fly a little bit. He can glide. He has spider gliders, you know, and he can glide, and he learns about those. And he's learning about all these different types of Spider-Man things, right? He's learning all about the Spider-Man of it all, and it's all the stuff that was forbidden by the training wheel protocol that Tony had implemented in the suit that Ned had gotten rid of earlier, right? And he was chilling on a thing, and the AI suit lady is like doing that thing that AI does where it like just yes mans you, and Spider-Man is like, and this is back in the year 2017, so really foretelling. And Spider-Man is like, oh, no, go ahead, sorry. Yeah, Spider-Man's like, should I ask out Liz? And the suit's like, I think you should ask out Liz. And Spider-Man's like, I don't know about that one. So the suit is now like very convinced that Peter should ask out Liz for some reason. By this point, Spider-Man has missed the, oh, go ahead, sorry. So sorry. No, don't worry about it. By this point, Spider-Man has missed the Academic Decathlon. He doesn't even show up. They win first place without him. It's fine. You know, like it's a whole thing. And while they're doing the Academic Decathlon, right, they're all like, where's Peter? You know, Ned waited the entire time in the room. They're like, Ned, Peter, we're going to be late. Ned has to leave and go like, Peter's not even there, right? You good? Okay. I don't know if anyone saw that. Cameraman just fell. I'm glad he's not dead. So what happens next? Yeah, so they do the Academic Decathlon. Afterward, they go to the Washington Monument. Spider-Man is now like inputting a bunch of things. He's hacking into the wall, the door of the secret U.S. facility of storage, whatever. Door opens. He's like, I got out. So he gets out, and he's now web slinging back. He's missed the whole thing, but he goes back to the Washington Monument, and in the Washington Monument, Ned has a device, the device that they were looking at earlier in the shop class, right? Analyzing the energy of, and Peter, around the time of like him staying in there and like kind of seeing all the things and listening to a bunch of stuff, is like, oh no, like it's responsive to radioactivity. Radioactivity will set it off, right? And you think, oh, there's no radioactivity anywhere near here. In the Washington Monument, they do have X-rays to make sure that you're not bringing in any illegal substances or weaponry into the Washington Monument, right? So Ned goes through, it's soft activated the Chitauri tech, which now would like essentially explode on them. So Peter's like, Ned! And Ned's like, Peter, you left me, and now like it's fine because we won the Academic Decathlon, but that really sucks, you know? And Peter's like, Ned, you gotta listen to me, Ned. It's gonna, you know, and he's like panicking, and Ned like hangs up on him. He goes in the Washington Monument. It's now a whole thing, and while he's going in the Washington Monument, okay, and while he's going into the Washington Monument, he's doing his whole thing, and he's like, oh yeah, like, blah, 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 blah. Washington Monument is going up. He doesn't know how to get up there because he's in the Spider-Man suit, but he knows it's going to explode. But the only way to get in is through the southeast window. And he's going to the southeast window, and there are helicopters that are like, oh no, something exploded in the Washington Monument. Ned and Liz and some other guy are in the elevator, and the teacher is in the elevator, and they're all like, oh man, we're gonna die now. The thing exploded. What the fuck just happened? Ned's backpack just exploded. And Spider-Man swoops in. There's a helicopter like, get down from the Washington Monument, Spider-Man. And he's like talking to himself. He's like, oh man, I'm scared of heights. Kind of weird because he is Spider-Man. But canonically, Spider-Man is afraid of heights. Let that be known. But then he goes up and then he swings over the helicopter and he goes like around the helicopter and he's like, gets enough momentum, hits the window. Crazy, am I right? Up top. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And he gets through the window. Spider-Man gets through the window. And he's like, oh shoot. You know, he goes in. He's now in the elevator shaft. Like, it's like almost broken. It's hanging on by a thread. And Spider-Man like grabs the entire elevator shaft as it's falling down. And he like has another web up at the ceiling of the Washington Monument, and now he's kind of holding it like this, and he's like, and he's pulling the elevator shaft up, and he's now, his feet are like on the ceiling, on like the roof of the elevator shaft, and he's pulling it up like this, and his entire body is essentially like carrying up the elevator machine, right? They all live. Liz is now like, oh God, what's happening, right? Liz is the last one to get out. For some reason, she's in shock. Granted, I would be too if I almost fell down an elevator shaft at the Washington Monument, one of the tallest buildings in the United States. And she is like, oh no, you know? She is almost like too scared to walk over the elevator. As she's about to walk over, boom, elevator shaft breaks. Spider-Man is like, oh no, but Spider-Man's web is still up at the ceiling. So he shoots another web down like this, and the web now grabs onto Liz, and Liz is now pulled up to safety with Spider-Man. Spider-Man leaves. It's a whole thing, right? At this point, Michelle Jones, Michelle, the girl from earlier, who's also at the Academic Decathlon and like made fun of Peter for liking Liz. She was never at the Washington Monument, right? So it becomes a whole thing, and what was I saying? Yeah, so now he's like, oh man, like Washington Monument, safe, we're all safe. He goes back, and everyone at his school is like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man! You know, I don't know why I did the voice I do for Peter for the class, but they're like, Spider-Man, oh my gosh, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, oh my gosh, you saved them, you saved the Academic Decathlon, oh my gosh. Betty Brant is there, she's like, oh my gosh, thank you, Spider-Man, you know? It becomes a whole little bit that they do in the class where it's like, Spider-Man saved everyone, this is awesome, right? And now, an important thing of note with this scene here now is like, what do you call it? Spider-Man is, Yeah, like no one knows Spider-Man is Spider-Man. You know, everyone knows he's like Spider-Man, but no one knows it's Peter, right? So Ned is like, how does it feel to be like the craziest, well-known guy ever? You know, and he's like, they don't know it's me. You know, and Ned's like, hey, like, are you gonna go to Spanish? We have a quiz. And Peter's like, I'm not going to Spanish. I need to stop the Vulture. So he's now trying to stop the Vulture, but he can't. Spider-Man can't stop the Vulture because he gets stopped by the principal. And the principal's like, hey, Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, hey, Peter. Peter now is in detention. He goes into detention. He's like, oh no, like what's going on? Whatever, blah, blah. He heard, like, by some point in his like quest fighting the Vulture, that the next heist would be some sort of communicative thing on the Staten Island ferry, right? So they go to he goes to Staten Island ferry, and he's like, I'm gonna stop these bad guys that are at the Staten Island ferry, right? They're all doing their business down by where the cars are parked on the ferry, and Spider-Man goes like, what are you guys doing here? He's doing his quips, right? He goes down, he's like shooting up the bad guys with his webs. He's going like, pew, 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 right? He's Spider-Man, right? And he's doing all of the things. And now, as he's like shooting up the people and everything, right? As he's about to get the bad guy, Vulture swoops in, whatever, everything's happening all at once. Whoa, what's going on? Then, as soon as Spider-Man's about to stop the bad guys, a bunch of FBI agents pull up, and they're like, FBI! And they start pointing everything at Spider-Man. They're like, FBI, we'll take it from here. And Spider-Man's like, no, guys, you don't get it. That thing's gonna explode. It's gonna explode on us. And the machine starts to like explode on them, right? All the FBI agents run. Spider-Man is now trying to shoot his webs at the machine that is going to explode, right? And now the scary thing is like, oh god, if the webs aren't going to do it, the machine's going to explode. The machine cuts the ferry evenly in half long ways, right? So it's like half, like then half, and Spider-Man is now like doing his thing. The Michael Giacchino theme comes back up, and it's like bow 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 bow, and he's going like, and he's Spider-Man, and he's doing the Spider-Man thing, and he like swings around from both sides of the ferry, and he's going like boom 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 boom, and he's now pulling the ferry together, and he's like, oh, here's all the stuff that's going on in the ferry, like boom 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 boom. Talks to Karen. How'd I do? Karen's like, that was amazing, Peter. You're 98% successful. Around the time of like him like sneaking up on the guys, Iron Man actually calls him and is like, hey, Peter, heard what you did at the Washington Monument. That was good stuff. And Peter's like, can't talk right now. Sorry, Mr. Stark, can't talk right now. And Tony's like, hey, don't ignore me when I'm trying to compliment you, right? It's a whole thing, and oh, so sorry, you go ahead. And he's like, don't ignore me when I'm trying to talk to you. And like, Peter hangs up on him, kind of crazy move. Iron Man and the Iron Man suits come in, right? After like Spider-Man's webs break, and Iron Man comes in like, he welds the ferry back together, right? A lot of damage is done, but at least the ferry is intact and no citizens were harmed, right? That's all you can ask for, right? No citizens are harmed. And what ends up happening now is, what do you call it? Yeah, Spider-Man is now like chilling on a building. So sorry, guys. Just like move to the right. I think is what we're. Yeah. Now, there's a fun little like thing that happens now is a scene with Spider-Man and Tony, and they're talking and they're like, oh man, like Spider-Man, like you could have killed a lot of people out there. You can't be doing all that work. This is a job for Happy. You know, if something like this happens, call Happy. This is not your jurisdiction. You cannot be doing this. And Peter's like, oh man, but I almost got him. And Tony's like, I know you've been like doing whatever and whatever, blah blah. And Tony's just like, I'm taking the suit. And Peter's like, no, you can't take the suit. you can't take the suit. I'm nothing without this suit. And Tony's like, if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, right? And then Tony takes the suit. Peter's now like, oh man, now I can't be Spider-Man. Oh God, I can't be Spider-Man. It's kind of ended up okay for him though, because even though he can't be Spider-Man, he can focus on his day-to-day life more, right? As just normal Peter Parker, his grades go up, he's participating more in class, he's hanging out with Ned more, he's having like whatever, like he's talking, he's doing his like studies, it's great. He's in the hallway, he's talking with Liz, and he asks out Liz, and it's like, oh my gosh, like he's asking out Liz. Whoa, right? He asks out Liz, and it's like, oh my gosh, Liz, like, I like you. And Liz is like, I know. Kind of awkward, right? But he's asking out Liz. He's like, oh my gosh, we gotta like go to homecoming together. They go to homecoming together, right? Now this is where it gets crazy. May is helping him like fix his tie and everything. They look up a YouTube video on how to tie a Windsor knot, right? He's taking old clothes from Uncle Ben. A little reference there. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you know who that one is. But he's someone was looking at me very, very fondly, and certainly not in a way of what the hell is this guy doing. But there was yeah. So they get out of the car. May is like, go in there, Pete. You got this. And he goes in, and who opens the door? It's none other but Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. What? Right? So the Vulture is Liz's dad, and Liz only lives in the suburbs because they have the money to live in the suburbs because he sells illegal Stark weaponry and the technology and stuff, and he sells it and it's crazy. And they're having a conversation, and Peter's like whoa, this is a guy I don't want to mess with, you know. He's like, I really don't want to mess with this guy. And you know, it becomes the whole thing, it becomes really scary. It's like, oh no, you know, like this is the guy that tried to kill me multiple times. Liz is like here with me, blah blah blah. It's like a whole conversation type thing, and it becomes like a really intense moment. They get in the car, and Liz is in the back seat with Peter, and Adrian Toomes is now driving the car. And it's like, Pete, what do you want to do? And he's like, wait, what? And Adrian Toomes is like, you know, in life, like all you kids that go to that school, you got your whole life figured out, you know? And he's like, oh, I hear you're smart, like you're doing all these things, blah blah blah. And Peter's like, yeah, I'm not sure yet, and I don't really have everything figured out. And then Liz goes, you do have that internship with Tony Stark. And Adrian Toomes is now like, wait a minute, you know Tony Stark? And then Peter is like, yeah, no, I don't do that anymore. I quit, you know, it's a lot of work. And then Adrian Toomes is like, oh man, like, must have been scary when you guys were at the Washington Monument. And Liz is like, oh, Peter wasn't even there. No, you go ahead. It's like, no, you weren't even there. And like, yeah, he just like disappeared that day, something. And this is when it clicks in Adrian Toomes' head. Adrian Toomes is like, wait a minute, something's up with this kid. All the times that Spider-Man has been around, he has not been around. He knows Tony Stark, he supposedly knows Spider-Man, right? This is not good, right? It's really not good. Really, really, really not good. Because now the Vulture has like an inkling that it might be Spider-Man, right? And there's like this whole conversation. And they get to homecoming, and Liz walks into the building, and Adrian Toomes is like, hey, kid, you go in first. I'm going to have the old dad talk, right? That's what he says. And Peter is sitting in the back seat, and Adrian Toomes is sitting there all menacing. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna save you, because you did save my daughter. But don't ever mess with my business again, or something like that, something to the effect. And he leaves Spider-Man on his way, and he's like, oh man, like Spider-Man, like I just saved your life, you know? Like, I could have killed you and I didn't because you saved my daughter, you know? Family means everything to me, do not fuck this up. And Peter's like, okay, that was freaky. But Peter like leaves his phone in the car, right? That's an important detail, because since he leaves his phone in the car, he now knows where Adrian Toomes is going to get back to his little lair, right? So he has his like old Spider-Man suit. He gets his old Spider-Man suit out. He leaves Liz at the dance. He leaves Liz at homecoming in order to be Spider-Man, right? The last he ever sees of a good, affectionate old Liz moment, right? And he's now like, oh my gosh, it's like Liz is my like this person that I've been loving for so long. I don't even get to go to the dance with her. I have to be Spider-Man. He goes out in the parking lot, and he's like, oh God, oh geez, oh man, Rick, you're like Ned, track my phone, get in the library, track my phone, follow me. We're now in the middle of the third act, right? Spider-Man, boom, boom, boom. He's now in his old spider suit. He goes out. The Shocker is there. The Shocker is one of the guys that's been working on stuff with Adrian Toomes the entire time. I forgot to mention him earlier. This is the one thing he does in this movie. They have one fight. He punches Spider-Man into a bus. Spider-Man punches a bus back at him. Something like that. Shocker's dead. No, he's not dead, but he goes to jail. And now, Spider-Man is now tracking the car. He takes Flash Thompson's car. He's like, give me your car and your phone. Right? He's now taking Flash Thompson's car. It's the whole thing. And he's doing his whole shtick, and he's driving around. He's never driven a car before because he is 15, right? Ned is now in the chair. He's like, you're going to want to turn left here. He's turning left, he's turning right, he's doing whatever. He's following him into a warehouse, right? Spider-Man ends up in a warehouse. He's like, thought I'd find you here, you know? And then Adrian Toomes is like, you shouldn't have done that, Peter. Shouldn't have done that, you know? And now they're talking, and he's like, you, like, whoa, blah, 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 like, you think you're the Spider-Man, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to intimidate him, trying to get in his head, you know? Adrian Toomes is trying to get in his head, and Adrian Toomes is like, oh man, like, Spider-Man, 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 no, you're not Spider-Man, you can't be Spider-Man, look at that ugly little suit you've got, you're not Spider-Man. Vulture suit comes in, he's like, I just need a little time to distract you. Vulture suit comes in, goes around the entire room, boom, 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 it's hitting pillars, it's hitting blocks of, like cement, it's hitting everything, and everything is getting all over the place, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, right? Spider-Man's like, you didn't even hit me. And Vulture's like, wasn't trying to. Boom. Vulture suit hits one more pillar. Everything falls down. Spider-Man is now crushed by all of the cement in this parking garage. The Vulture is now leaving. It's moving day for Happy Hogan, because he is now moving all of Tony Stark's stuff from Avengers Tower over to upstate New York, where the new Avengers campus will be, right? And while they're in the new Avengers campus and doing all the things, Happy's not really paying attention. There is a whole plane of stuff that they need to take from Avengers Tower to the Avengers compound, right? This is scary. This is some really scary stuff, right? Now, what's happening now is you have Spider-Man kind of confused and like, oh man, what do I do? Adrian Toomes is getting into his suit. He's flying over to do whatever. He's now on this plane. Spider-Man uses all of his power and determination, to lift all of the concrete up above him, and he does like a whole like powerlift thing. He's like pushing himself up like this, and he goes up like this. He's lifting the beams up like this. Boom! He gets out, right? And he does this thing, and he's now like, oh man, I've saved it. He goes out. If you wanted to, I guess not. But he's Spider-Man in it, all over the place. He's now following the Vulture over to a ship. It's the Stark ship, and Tony Stark's ship is now being infiltrated by the Vulture. All the stuff's being taken. They have a battle on the ship. It's up in the sky. It's scary. The ship is made out of like an invisible, pixelated kind of thing to kind of camouflage it. Spider-Man's like, no, oh geez, oh man, right? Now, the scary thing now is like, Spider-Man is, what do you call it? Yeah, like he's now up in the sky. He's shooting webs at all of the propellers of the plane, and they're falling off. The plane is not stable, so he's now going back, and Spider-Man is now shooting his webs, and he's like hanging on the plane for dear life, and he shoots the web at the Vulture, and the Vulture is like flying around again, and then Spider-Man like grabs onto a thing, and then he falls, but then the plane is crashing, right? And the Vulture gets off, and Peter's getting off, and there's some tech that's like getting stuck in the Vulture's suit, and the tech is gonna explode and like kill the Vulture. So Peter's like, no, don't move. The stuff in the blast's gonna kill you. And the Vulture doesn't listen. Right? They're now on the beach by Coney Island. Right? Right outside of the cyclone. Right? Final battle on the beach. They're fighting. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Peter ends up trying to save the Vulture's life, trying to make sure that he doesn't die. Right? All the stuff explodes. Boom! Fire on Coney Island. Right? And Peter walks into the fire and then walks out, and he's like, okay, we like need to get out. Right? He saves the Vulture, puts a little tag on him, and it's like, we caught this guy. Don't kill him though. He still deserves to be alive. Liz is now moving to Oregon. She's upset with Peter. Real downer ending on that front. But Peter still gets to be Spider-Man, and Peter's now offered by Tony to be an Avenger. And he walks into the Avengers compound, and he's like, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna stick to being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He leaves, right? Doesn't want the new Iron Spider suit that Tony just created for him. He doesn't want to be an Avenger. He wants to stick to being Queens. He wants to get his grades up. He's got a lot of stuff to do, right? There's a little gag with Gwyneth Paltrow who comes in for a little cameo. Fun fact, Gwyneth Paltrow has no memory of being in this movie. And then Spider-Man goes back and he does his normal crime-fighting thing in Queens. And, he's saving the day. He gets his suit back and he puts it on. And then the Spider-Man theme, bum, 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 bum. It's epic, it's grand, it's playing. Camera pans to the doorway of his bedroom. Aunt May is there, and she goes, "What the?" And then Blitzkrieg Bob starts playing. Credits. Spider-Man. Now, what does this tell you about the Spider-Man? I think, in conclusion, Spider-Man is really freaking cool. I'm a big Spider fan. Do you like Spider-Man by any chance? This has been Anything Can Be a Podcast with Taylor Cartago. I'm Taylor Cartago, and Anything Can Be a Podcast. And I'm out here being your friendly neighborhood podcaster. Good night, everybody. Good night.